Your adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Zambia Police Service warns political party leaders along with other stakeholders against dragging the country's defense and security wings into political discourse. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development successfully concluded a comprehensive nationwide training program aimed at enhancing CDF. And Sudan Army accused of killing hundreds in airstrike on Darfur market. This bulletin is also live on our Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. The Zambia Police Service has warned political party leaders and all stakeholders against dragging the country's defense and security wings into political discourse and making statements that amount to incitement or breach of the law. Police Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga said of Zambia guarantees freedom of expression. This right must be exercised within the confines of the law. Mr. Hamonga says any attempts to incite unlawful activities or make statements that undermine national security and public order will not be tolerated. He has since urged all citizens, particularly political leaders, to conduct themselves responsibly and refrain from making utterances that may mislead the public, create unnecessary panic, or threaten the peace and stability of the nation. Mr. Hamonga says the Zambia Police Service remains committed to upholding the rule of law and will not hesitate to take appropriate action against any individuals or groups found to be in violation of the law.
While the Constitution of Zambia guarantees freedom of expression, this right must be exercised within the confines of the law. Any attempts to incite unlawful activities or make statements that undermine the national security and public order will not be tolerated. We urge all citizens, particularly political leaders, to conduct themselves responsibly and refrain from making utterances that may mislead the public, create unnecessary panic, or threaten the peace and stability of the nation. The Zambia Police Service remains committed to upholding the rule of law and will not hesitate to take appropriate action against any individuals or groups found to be in violation of the law.
Former Minister of Fisheries and Livestock Professor Nkanduluo has accused the United Party for National Development UPND government of not prioritizing women's proportional representation, citing the dissolution of the Ministry of Gender as evidence. Speaking at a Women in Politics press briefing today, Professor Luo pointed out that when the UPND government assumed office in 2021, the Ministry of Gender was dissolved and replaced with the Gender Division under the Office of the President. She has emphasized that Article 259 of Zambia's Constitution mandates the sitting president to adopt or nominate 8 candidates to parliament. According to Professor Luo, the constitutional amendment process must be carefully planned with a clear budget, inclusivity, and well-defined timelines for its commencement and completion. She states that the constitutional amendment process is complex and requires adequate time, adding that such amendments should only take place after the 2026 elections.
One of the things, if I speak as a consultant, you are given terms of reference. Has any of us read the terms of reference for this constitutional review? No. And a budget. I went through the 2024-25 budget that was presented to Parliament. I did not see any provision of a budget that will support this constitutional review. Because anything, even at least this will be the fuel of the people that will be going to discuss. Even to get to Parliament, there must be a budget.
Also speaking at the event, former Minister of National Guidance and Religious Affairs Godfrida Sumaili echoed Luo's sentiments, insisting that constitutional amendments should only be pursued after the 2026 elections.
What is going on in the country? Yes. And you see, the will of God is expressed through the will of the people. Yes. So when the people say we do not want to change our constitution now, we are asking Bakateka to listen to the people and to respect also the will of the people. Recently, they changed mother bodies, who are the mouthpiece of God, and who are the body of Christ in our nation, in the nations. They came out very clearly. They spoke very clearly.
Meanwhile, Citizen First member of the Central Committee, Olivia Peary, expressed her displeasure with statements made by the non-governmental organizations coordinating Council NGOCC, which claimed that women in politics are in agreement with the proposed constitutional amendments. Peary has called for the NGOCC and women's lobby groups to issue an apology for the misrepresentation of their views.
We are saying as women in politics, we do not need the constitutional amendment before the elections. If they want the delimitation, I think the previous government gave us a roadmap, which they rejected. As an aspiring candidate, I know my constituency is big, but can it be done genuine and straightforward? So where is the report that shows that these are the constituencies to be delimited? So we shall not allow to use delimitation as a corrector to sneak in other clauses that we may not actually understand. I was surprised to hear the president saying the constitution amendment will benefit the women. And then I was thinking, I said, how?
Chief Government spokesperson Cornelius Mwetwe has disclosed that the Ministry of Agriculture is set to embark on a nationwide tour engaging with a broad range of stakeholders in a collaborative effort to design and implement a comprehensive and effective monitoring mechanism for the e-voucher. This initiative aims to enhance overall effectiveness of the program, ensuring that it reaches the intended beneficiaries, farmers, and contributes to improved agricultural productivity across the country. Speaking during a media briefing today, Mr. Mwetwe says these consultations will involve a diverse group of stakeholders, including local farmers, agricultural experts, government agencies, non-governmental organizations, and other relevant parties who play a key role in supporting the agricultural sector. He says the goal is to gather insights and feedback to tailor the monitoring systems to the unique needs of different regions and communities.
For 2025-2026 will continue, and that the numbers of beneficiaries will not reduce. The Minister of Agriculture will soon robustly be going around the country to meet various stakeholders in designing a robust framework for monitoring progress under the e-voucher system, and also provide a roadmap, a detailed roadmap for 2025-2026 agro input distribution.
In a bid to strengthen local governance and promote transparency, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has successfully concluded a comprehensive nationwide training program aimed at enhancing CDF communication between local authorities and their constituents. The training program, which targeted at principal officers, public relations officers, PROs, from all the 116 councils, as well as provincial local government officers, was designed to equip the officials with the necessary skills and knowledge to effectively disseminate information and engage with the public. The initiative underscores the ministry's commitment to fostering accountability, transparency, and public participation in local governance, ultimately building trust and cooperation between local authorities and the communities they serve. The CDF training covered key areas such as strategic communication, branding, storytelling, and monitoring frameworks. Speaking on the successful conclusion of the program, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary for Technical Services Nicholas Peary reaffirmed the ministry's dedication to empowering local government officials with the necessary tools to foster better engagement with communities. The permanent secretary stated that the ministry remains steadfast in its quest to build strong, responsive, and well-informed local governance structures. This is contained in a statement issued by Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Principal Public Relations Officer Liseli Kanyanga. And in other news trending this evening, a consortium of civil society organizations on good governance is concerned by the imminent passage of the Cybercrimes Bill, which contains provisions that threaten press freedom, investigative journalism, and the fundamental principles of transparency and accountability in governance. Kamfinsa constituency member of parliament Christopher Kangombe has appealed to the cabinet, urging them to grant permission to the Justice Minister, Princess Kasune, to publicly present and clarify the provisions of the proposed constitutional amendments. Up next, the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
Ministry of Agriculture Director Chizumba Shipande has indicated Zambia's commitment to domesticating the Southern African Development Community SADC Soil Health and Fertilization Action Plan to improve the country's agricultural output. Dr. Shipande says this will be done in alignment with national priorities such as the National Agricultural Policy and the Climate Smart Agriculture Investment Plan. Dr. Shipande said this at the just ended validation workshop for the Southern African Fertilizer and Soil Health Program, SAF-SHP, held in South Africa. He said SADC, in collaboration with the Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research and Development for Southern Africa and the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, can improve smallholder farmers' access to high-quality fertilizers within the region through validation workshops, technical consultations, and farmer training programs. He underscored the critical need for public-private partnerships, evidence-based policymaking, and inclusive stakeholder engagement to improve smallholder farmer capacities. Dr. Shipande further highlighted Zambia's ongoing effort to strengthen extension services and deploy digital decision support tools to empower farmers in optimizing input use and mitigating climate risks. Dr. Shipande said this will contribute to Zambia meeting its ambitious agricultural outputs as directed by President Hakainde Hichilema for the country to produce 10 million metric tons of maize and 1 million metric tons of wheat, as well as soybeans annually by the year 2027. The workshop convened key stakeholders from across the Southern African Development Community SADC, including government representatives, agricultural researchers, policymakers, development partners, and private sector actors. The primary objective was to align regional priorities, review draft proposals, and refine actionable strategies for enhancing soil health, optimizing fertilizer use efficiency, and scaling agroecological innovations across SADC. Presentations showed the country's advancements in sustainable agricultural practices, soil fertilizer management, and climate smart farming technologies. The workshop was organized by the Center for Coordination of Agricultural Research and Development for Southern Africa, CCARDESA, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and the Southern African Development Community, SADC. This is contained in a statement issued by First Secretary Press and Public Relations, Zambia High Commission, South Africa, Tamara Nyirenda. Ends the business news.
5FM Radio Business News. We mean business. Keep you current in commerce, trade, and industry, local and global. It's our business to keep you informed about business.
And in news from across our borders, a Sudanese war monitor has accused the military of killing hundreds of people in an airstrike on a market in the country's western Darfur region. The emergency lawyers group, which documents abuses by both sides in Sudan's civil war that erupted in April 2023, said the bombing of Tara Market was a horrific massacre that had also left hundreds injured. Videos posted on social media, some by the army's rival, the Rapid Support Forces RSF, a paramilitary group that controls much of Darfur, showed the smoking ruins of market stores and bodies carried beyond recognition. And in sports news, the Zambia Under-17 men's national team has arrived in Casablanca ahead of the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON Morocco 2025, set to take place from March 30 to April 19. Coach Ian Bakala's squad arrived at 11:50 a.m. aboard Emirates Airlines and will proceed to Mohamedia, where they will set up camp for final preparations ahead of their tournament opener against Tanzania next Tuesday. The reigning COSAFA champions have been drawn in Group A alongside hosts Morocco, Tanzania, and Uganda. Zambia are aiming high for this year's edition of the tournament, where the top 10 teams from the tournament will earn automatic qualification for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup to be held in Qatar later this year. And now the weather.
Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy. Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
The evening is partly cloudy, windy at times, and warm to mild with a chance of isolated rain. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. The Zambia Police Service has warned political party leaders and those stakeholders against dragging the country's defense and security wings into political discourse and making statements that amount to incitement or breach of the law. In a bid to strengthen local governance and promote transparency, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development has successfully concluded a comprehensive nationwide training program aimed at enhancing CDF communication between local authorities and their constituents. And finally, a Sudanese war monitor has accused the military of killing hundreds of people in an airstrike on a market in the country's western Darfur region. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and YouTube, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie. Enjoy the rest of the evening.